From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher. Their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicky Fisher. Our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Skripchuk. And our Batman, the master of tools, gadgets, and all things mechanical, our mild-mannered soon-to-be billionaire, Alan Danvers. Their mission, to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them, and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team. Dominating with Dawson.
I hear that we have Ben Dawson. It's that time. It is the time for Ben Dawson.
What time is it?
It's Dawson time.
Dawson time.
When it comes to kids, I got to tell you, now that Ben Dawson's got kids, you got to try it. You got to get them revved up for bath time. And in our house, what time is it? It's tubby time.
Wow. Can't wait for all our listeners to our listeners are now deaf.
I'll try anything. everybody's turning their car radio back up a little bit.
Vicky's on super turbo volume level right now, but we're going to try to fix that.
I'm going to start moving that back because I don't know why it's doing that. Is that better?
That's better.
Bill's criticizing right away and angling for some tubby time himself.
That's right.
What time is it, Bill? It's tubby time.
I know. I'm just going to have to edit the tub tonight. Anyway, Ben, we've got you here. I've got a question for you. I know that's so rare for Dominating with Dawson's for us to have a question for you, but we thought we'd give it a try, see what this is. So there's this problem that we're starting to see as our team starts to get faster. And what I'm seeing is they are overslowing for turns, and especially lower speed turns. And what's happening is like picture a turn that's like a bowl or a carousel or anything like that. They'll go slow, and then the turn so long, they'll actually increase while still approaching the apex. I think they might do it on
drive up to it.
Yeah. So how do you work at remedying that issue?
The easy answer for me is usually I just try to pay attention to what other people can get away with and something similar to me. And if I realize like, oh, I slowed down and they whipped right by me into the corner, it means I could probably go a little bit faster. Like most of the things I realize I kind of pick up and crib off the competition. I mean, so that's one of the fastest ways to get it is to sort of evaluate what you're doing in traffic or, in HPDE and how it's comparing to what everybody else is doing. If I see somebody getting away with something I think I should be able to do in my car, I got to figure it out. I can go in there that fast, or I can brake it to this instead of that. I know that guy's running the same tire and the same brakes as me. Sort of. So I'm always kind of looking around trying to fill a palette full of context into the painting that I'm making of what's happening at the moment. I'm trying to always have an image of what's going on, and what I can get away with is a big part of it. Like as you're going in the brake zone, you have to kind of visualize, where do I need to be getting off where am I going to be getting off the brakes to get turned in? Am I starting this far enough back, or am I starting this too far back? I mean, I think one of the more technical ways to think about this is to kind of go to something I hear Ross Bentley talk about a lot when you're sort of working things backward from the end of braking. Is that something he talks about sometimes?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess a lot of this is kind of unconscious for me, so I'm trying to think back through and think of a way to express it. But yeah, I mean, where you need to get off the brakes to get turned in. Like that should be something that's a pretty good point of view and something you can visualize. So like you're picturing where you like to be in off the brakes to get turned in. So you just have to start working your beginning of braking for that place to make sense. If you're obviously overslowing for a turn or braking too early and having to drive up. The first way to get there is just to go in a little deeper.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that we are definitely working on. I would say that more the issue, and it's habitual.
What are your issues, Vicky?
Oh no, it's not a habit that I'm trying to break, because I wouldn't call it a habit, but it's something that did develop, that
Mhm.
I'm addressing, is that if there is any kind of turn, I will tap the brakes, even if it's an uphill, knowing that there's going to be compression. I will tap the
Mhm.
brakes, and it's something that I'm trying to work through, because instead of tapping is lifting to achieve what I want. Because and it's not when it comes to heavy turns, it's something that might be, like going into the bowl at NJMP, or like when I was at Laguna Seca, they had this particular little kink before you went uphill.
Yeah.
And and you didn't have to touch the brakes, because as soon as you hit that, it was a compression thing. You just
Yeah.
kind of take it away. I would just, well, back then, but for something like that, I would tap the brakes, unsettling the car.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? It's something that I don't know why I'm doing yet, but it's something that I think that if it was a turn, not recognizing the uphill and the compression the car would take, I just see it as a turn or something that, and I slow. But what I am consciously trying to do is lift and use that as
Why?
my why.
Why?
Not so much on the compression parts, but when I need to, or feel like I need to slow the car, it's something that I'm consciously trying to do instead of tapping the brakes where I should not.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So we were at NJMP
Mm-hmm.
last week, and between 5 and 7, do you touch the brakes?
No.
Okay. So if you don't touch your brakes there, why are you touching your brakes if you don't have to?
I touch my brakes obviously at the end, right before 7.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm coming around to the bowl and I have accelerated
Mm-hmm.
all the way out, I am consciously trying, when I see the cone to my left, say for instance, or going into the bowl, what I'm trying not to do is step on the brake or tap the brake going into the bowl. I'm trying to lift instead if I feel like I'm going in too fast. Because at that point I was driving 1 gear higher the entire time.
Right.
So,
because I did notice that your min speed was like 5 miles an hour slower than other people in the other Miata.
Oh, I don't know. I have no, I have no excuse for that.
I was just wondering why. I'm not critical.
No, I don't know. I really don't have an answer for that.
Are you concerned about the car being able to turn? Are you concerned about the speed you're going? Are you concerned
The speed
about...
I'm going? I'm concerned about the speed I'm going. It's not something I'm quite comfortable with working on it.
What worries you? I mean, I find myself, especially when I'm trying to get to know a car. Like today, I was driving 2 cars I hadn't driven before. Luckily, thank Jesus, on track at VIR. But when I'm working up to it, I'm kind of trying to find the limits. I'm kind of specifically worried about, does this car have good enough tires to hold me flat through the flat through the S's, or there's specific things that are on my mind. Are you worried about the traction?
Well,
are you?
Well, this particular time, at this particular time out, I always had in the back of my mind for the fact that the tires were cold and the track was cold. So that was always something that was always in the back of my mind. And the other part was that my tires always felt like they were rolling from side to side. So I don't feel like I felt more sway in my car. And I didn't have confidence in the tires at that point. I think the whole time was that I didn't have confidence in the tires. And I started having more confidence in the tires when I finally got the Apex working for some reason.
Apex Pro, not the
Apex Pro. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I started having more confidence in the tires, because then I was like, okay, now I can figure out, I can start preparing where the grip is and start really getting to feel that. But when that wasn't there, I was unsure of my tires.
So is it a confidence thing, or is it a feel thing, or
It's a feel
both?
thing. It's a
So-
feel thing.
So you don't feel it unless you're confirmed by the Apex Pro.
Right now, yeah. Right now, it was just something that just popped up this last race. I started getting nervous not having it in the car. But also this particular time, I don't know how well my tires were.
Yeah, because you've only sent me one
Right.
data set. Like, you didn't send me anything else.
Yeah.
And
I wasn't really able to catch a lot of data on my car because I kept having Apex Pro problems.
but you're doing really well at staying in the gas, and with one exception, but really well at staying in the gas. But you're over slowing on nearly every turn, like
Yeah.
5 miles an hour.
It was like I didn't have confidence in the tires because I don't really race in the cold so very often. So I was trying to figure out how to do that right.
So what was the tires feeling like that you weren't?
They felt like they were very rolly. They honestly, they felt like they didn't have an edge on them.
So you didn't have enough
If that
air in
makes
them?
any sense. I don't know. No, because the air was fine. I just don't know if they were older tires.
Mm.
But they just felt they just felt like they rolled a lot, side to side, more than, that's what I kept feeling. It was just a really weird sensation I was getting from the car. So
Okay, well, next time say something, because we can figure something out. I mean,
well, I kind of tested the tires. The tires were fine. I just don't know if they were just older tires.
how do you know? How did you test the tires to know that they were fine?
No, well, we checked the air on them.
Yeah, but we didn't know that was the right air.
Yeah. Well,
We
no, because that was a PSI, and we were running lower on the PSI a little bit, just not by much, like by 2 degrees or 2 pounds, I think.
Right, but maybe you needed a little bit more.
I don't know.
Maybe you were low by 2 pounds. We know that we had one set of tires that was too low.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But I checked them. I'm like, oh, they seem fine. But I don't know. I didn't have a good feeling on the tires. And Jennifer was feeling the same thing. She was saying.
I know, but how do you check them to know that they were fine?
I don't know how fine is fine. I'll just know that I had the right PSI in them, roughly.
Well, I would say you had the PSI that you thought you should have, but you don't know it was the right PSI.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. So.
All right. So I'm going to have to show you how to do some tire testing. So maybe we'll do that on our next Dominating with Dawson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't have a good feeling out there with my car, but I kept working on other things. So
if your car doesn't feel right or normal, we need to figure out why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. And I do understand that, but there was a lot of movement going on.
Well, trust me, I didn't get out of a car. I was in 3 different HPD groups. So, and when I wasn't in an HPD group, I was in a hyperdrive. So it was fun. All right. That sounds like a plan. Thank you, Ben.
Thanks. You're welcome. He's chasing kids.
Yes, he's chasing kids. That's why this one got curtailed. But anyway, I'm sure he's listening to us. So he's got his headphones in. So that's always fun.
Yeah.
That's right. We can talk about him now. So do you believe that? No.
Yeah, right.
Are you the guy who went to VIR today?
Yeah, I'm really surprised it happened. I was uncertain all until the moment I left the house.
Understood.
Yeah, it was great. It was really well. I mean, stuff happens. Yeah, it was very nice to get up there and do that.
See.
That car is crazy. It seems like like the first 1 or 2 laps I turn at VAR in a BMW thing tries to kill me. Like Reed's E36, the throttle stuck wide open, going down turn 1 a couple times. And then, and then Jeff's car, I was trying to brake. I went to like 4th gear, like he kind of normally would. Turns out I didn't need to. That car's so slow, but I went to 4th gear to turn into turn 3, got on the brakes, and the thing just went straight to the corner station. I could not get the car to slow down. It felt like hitting ice mode or something. So I don't know. Jeff thinks it's some kind of failure, some kind of crazy old school braking system, some kind of Hydra boost or something braking system in there. He's like, oh, it's the Hydra boost. I was like, yeah, it nearly killed me, and poor Ann. Poor Ann was in the car with me.
You guys had quite the shindig.